You believe struggle means you're failing, right? That's the lie that's destroying your spiritual growth right now. I used to think I was always late to life. Everyone else was further ahead, dealing with different things. I thought my life had to have only one goal, a successful career or business, and nothing else mattered. Relationships, learning patience. That was a distraction. I thought I had to work 24/7 and then ignore everything else, like meeting people or learning to flow with life's natural timeline. I didn't understand why I couldn't just move straight toward my goal until I finally understood that life has seasons. In every season, there are different achievements and different struggles. And those struggles are not failures. They are exact lessons you need to learn to grow as a human being, spiritually and mentally. Today, I'm going to show you why struggle you are facing is actually your greatest teacher and how to use it instead of letting it break you. Let's start with the biggest one, the comparison trap. I lived in this space for years, constantly looking at other people's lives, their careers, their relationships, even their social media, and feeling like I was miles behind. It's an emotional discomfort that eats you from the inside. You feel like a failure because your timeline doesn't match someone else's. You think, why am I still here when they are already there? That feeling is brutal. But here's what I learned the hard way. That emotional discomfort, that pain of comparison, it's not a sign you are failing. It's a sign that you are chasing external validation. You are trying to build your self-worth on a foundation that isn't yours. You are trying to live life that someone else designed. And that struggle, that feeling of being less than, is actually forcing you to stop. It's your system's way of saying this path is not sustainable. This struggle is the moment your old identity begins to dissolve. The identity that says your values come from your job title, your relationship status, your bank account. That identity has to break down. It's painful, right? It feels like you are falling apart, but it's necessary because only when that old, fragile identity dissolves can you build a stronger one from within. A self-worth that isn't dependent on anyone else's timeline or achievements. The pain of comparison isn't failure, it's redirection. It's life pushing you to stop looking sideways and start looking inward. To build something real that can't be taken away by someone else's success. So, if you are in that space right now, feeling behind and not good enough, understand this. You are not failing. You are being prepared. The struggle is the data. It's showing you where you've been basing your worth on the wrong things. And that awareness is the first step to building something unshakable. Now, what about when you feel completely lost? Not just behind, but with no idea what the next step even is. I've been there too. There was a phase in my life where I felt completely disconnected from my path, stuck. I had goals, but the path to them was a blank map. It's terrifying feeling. You question everything. Am I on the right track? Did I make wrong turn? Is this even what I'm supposed to be doing? This is the lost phase, and our instinct is to see it as a massive failure. We think being lost means we messed up, but that's not true. Being lost is often the universe's way of forcing you to reconnect with your inner guidance. When the external maps stop working, the career ladder, the societal checklist, you have no choice but to listen to the internal compass. This period of uncertainty pushed me to redefine my values, not from a place of what I should want because of external pressure, but from a place of truth. What do I actually care about? What brings me peace? What kind of life do I want to build? Not for show, but for my own soul. That can only happen when you are stripped of the old certainty. Then you are forced to sit in the discomfort of not knowing. The struggle with uncertainty isn't failure, it's a redirection toward authenticity. It's the process of clearing out the noise so you can hear your own voice. The path doesn't disappear, it just changes. It becomes yours, not the one you were told to follow. So, if you are feeling lost and disconnected from your path, don't panic. This isn't a sign that you've failed. It's a sign that you are being guided to build a life that is truly yours. The struggle is the space where you get to choose your values, not inherit them. And this process, this redirection applies to every area of life. It even applies to love. Because even love's pain serves a purpose. And this brings us to love. Because if there is one area where struggle feels like pure failure, it's here. You open up to someone, you trust them, you care deeply, and then you face rejection or loss. The pain is immediate and it feels like proof. Proof that you weren't good enough, that you failed at connection, that you should have built higher walls. I've been there. You give a part of yourself and it feels like it was thrown away. That pain is real. But here's the truth that changed everything for me. That pain is teaching you a level of resilience you cannot get on easy path. You cannot learn emotional maturity without going through emotional storms. The struggle in love, the heartbreak, it's not a sign that you failed at love. It's the raw, messy process of learning how to love more deeply. It forces you to look at your own patterns, why you choose certain people, where your boundaries are weak, how you love from a place of need instead of wholeness. The spiritual practice isn't avoiding this pain. The real practice is learning to stay open after you've been hurt, to not let the experience make you cold or cynical. That is incredibly difficult. It feels safer to shut down, but staying open, choosing to believe in connection even after loss, that is where your spiritual strength is built. The struggle in love forces you to find self-love. You realize that your worth was never in someone else's hands to begin with. The pain of loss isn't failure. It's the furnace where your capacity for real unconditional love is forged. It's the lesson that teaches you that you are complete even when you are alone. And that leads directly to the next, often misunderstood struggle. Because sometimes the disconnection isn't from a person, but from everyone. There are painful seasons where you feel completely disconnected from others. It's deep loneliness, a sense of being on the outside looking in. I've gone through this. You look around and it seems like everyone else is part of a tribe and you are just not. This feeling is often interpreted as a social failure. You think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I connect? But what if this disconnection is actually creating the space for the most important connection you'll ever make? The connection to yourself. When you are constantly surrounded by noise and other people's energy, you never truly meet yourself. You are always reacting, adapting, performing. The struggle of solitude, of feeling lonely, forces you to stop and listen, to find peace not in the presence of others, but in your own presence. This is where you build a deeper relationship with your own essence. You learn what you truly enjoy, what you think about when no one else is watching, what your soul actually sounds like. This struggle creates the quiet necessary to hear your own intuition. It's in this sacred space of solitude that you discover you are your own home. The loneliness isn't a failure to connect with others. It's an invitation to connect with yourself on a level that no external relationship can provide. It's the foundation. Once you have that, your connections with others become choices, not needs. They come from a place of abundance, not lack. So if you are in a season of feeling disconnected, understand that this struggle is not a punishment, it's a prerequisite. It's the universe clearing the deck so you can finally meet the person you are going to spend the rest of your life with. You. Okay, so we've talked about why struggle isn't failure, but how do you actually use it? How do you turn this painful data into growth? You need practical tools, because theory is useless without action. So here are the 3 simple practices that changed everything for me. First, the evening struggle reflection ritual. This takes 5 to 10 minutes before bed. You write down 3 things. 1. What was one thing that felt hard today? Just name it. 2. What did that struggle reveal about your patterns? For example, did it trigger impatience, a fear of losing control, perfectionism? You are not judging it, you're just collecting data. 3. What is one tiny step you can take tomorrow to respond differently? This isn't about fixing everything overnight. It's about shifting your relationship with struggle from "this is breaking me" to "this is teaching me." Over time, this turns emotional struggle into self-awareness practice, not self-criticism. Second, the timeline check practice. Use this when you feel that familiar "I'm behind" panic. Pause and ask 2 questions. Am I comparing my chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 10? And what season of growth am I actually in right now? Are you in the planting season, where things are slow and under the surface? Or the nurturing season, where you are building consistency? Or the harvesting season, where you are finally seeing results? This simple check pulls you out of comparison and into reality. It helps you see that your timing isn't wrong, you're just in a different phase. 3. The future gratitude exercise. This one is powerful for gaining perspective. Write a short letter to yourself from 6 months in the future. Thank yourself for not giving up during this current struggle. For example, thank you for trusting the process when nothing made sense. That was the exact moment my next chapter was being built. This creates emotional distance and helps you reframe your current struggle as a necessary part of a meaningful journey. It's data, not failure. These tools are how you stop being a victim of your struggles and start being a student of them. You start to see the pattern. The struggle is always pointing you toward the lesson you need to learn. Now we need to confront the spiritual lies that make you think struggle is failure, because these myths are everywhere and they are keeping you stuck, right? First, the biggest one. If I am struggling, I must be misaligned or manifesting wrong. That's completely not true. Listen, struggle doesn't mean you're off your path. It often means your vibration is actually evolving. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. True alignment isn't about constant ease, it's about staying conscious in the contrast. Real manifestation includes phases of pressure that stretch your capacity to receive what you've asked for. You're not failing at manifestation, you are deepening it. Second, the high vibe only myth. You've heard it. You must stay positive all the time to attract good things. That's actually BS. Emotions like sadness or anger are not low vibe, they're messages. Avoiding them keeps you disconnected from your own power. Real high vibration isn't fake positivity, it's emotional honesty. It's learning to stay open and loving even when you are uncomfortable. Your humanity isn't blocking your spirituality, it's the doorway to it. And the last trap, the endless healing belief. I need to heal more before I can move forward. Healing isn't meant to be a lifelong waiting room. There comes a point where integration matters more than analysis. You stop fixing yourself and start living as the healed version you've already became. The goal isn't to end all pain, but to move through life with awareness. You're not broken. You are ready to live from wholeness, not hurtfulness. So remember this, struggle isn't failure, it's your growth data. Your timing is perfect for what you're meant to learn right now. See you in the next one.